Hello folks, this is Paragon RG, and you're watching some top-level talent play Age of Empires 4. Let's jump right into it. This one is Mountain Pass. We have in the blue on the west side of the ridge is Mixu, and on the right side in the red we have Hera. And this is a classic French versus English versus French matchup. Let's take a quick look at the map itself, because both players playing with some of the most standard civs here. English and French have some of the least, let's say, differences, the smallest amount of uniqueness compared to civs like Mongols or Delhi or someone like that. Let's take a little look at the map here. There's a single pass through the middle in which they will have to go through. Now, this isn't always the case on Mountain Pass. Sometimes there can be a second one, or a particularly wide or small pass. I also see a couple of relics on this side just sneaking in, but that's probably a good thing since Mixu doesn't have any other relics on his side. So there's one here, one up here, and then one further down here as well. So Hera generally getting a better map spawn, and if he's aggressive enough, can potentially force Mixu off of the two relics in the center of the map. Let's look a little at each player's setup. So nice, say nice back gold. It's actually a little far away. Hera as the English can probably, yeah, if Mixu isn't careful, there's really nothing stopping Hera from walking through here, getting past these lines with longbows, and then keeping him off of gold. So he's gonna have to be really, really careful about that. Maybe even just a wall here could prevent that kind of play from Hera. Otherwise, we have the side berries here. Nice wood line for him. Yeah, looks not too bad overall. Hera on the other side. Nice close wood line. Goal is a little to the front, but it's probably closer to his TC than the gold for Mixu. So this is probably a good thing. He will likely be dealing with French knights, so may need a tower on here at some point, but we'll see how he handles that. So early lumber camp. I mean, especially as I was gonna say, as the French, Hera is the English, so never you mind. As the French, they do get, I believe they get cheaper economic buildings, so really no reason to try anything cheeky, you know, where you place your or where you avoid placing some of these production gathering locations. So Hera already clicked up here to the council hall, so pretty quick from him. Very standard, rushing for at least setting that up, and then only 3 villagers on it. But once it is up, he will probably be pumping out longbowmen pretty solidly. Mixu on the other side has not yet clicked up. Interesting that it's not actually showing me that Hera has clicked up. Am I missing something here? Okay, no problems. We now see Mixu going up with the School of Cavalry. Really, no surprises here at all. Folks, this is a really standard matchup. The player that wins this is probably going to be either the player that plays this just mechanically better, is more aggressive, you know, gets a couple extra villager kills, or does something like manages to drive their opponent off of a resource like gold. So that's, I think, what this one is going to come down to. And then longbows versus knights. Now, obviously, knights will beat longbows, but played correctly, if the English player is sort of correctly defensive, they get a few extra shots off on knights, they can actually be pretty effective against them. So we'll have to see how that plays out and how well Hera is able to work with his longbows. Council hall coming up from him, as well as a barracks. So it looks like spearmen and a longbow play coming out from him. Really not that surprising considering what he will probably be up against. 3 villagers as well, helping Mixu get to that second age. Still 3 villagers on gold, so this is, I'm assuming he's going to go for professional scouts. Is that crazy? We don't see a mill though yet, do we? So maybe I'm off on that unless he puts one up now. But looking at the gold, you can only really build a couple of knights with that many villagers on gold. So we'll try to check back and see his build order as we go. Outpost and mining camp for stone coming down. So, you know, forget everything I said. This is looking like a fast expand for Mixu, likely going to be adding a second town center, unless this is purely for upgrades on outposts. So, yeah, we'll have to see how many. If he puts something like 4 villagers on here, I think it's a good guess that he'll be going for that second town center. School of Cavalry has now finished up. We'll see what he queues up. Here's that mill now. So if he goes for a... Does he go for a scout here? Or straight for knights? Let's find out in a second. There are a bunch of longbows and spears out, but looks like Hera is holding off on heading out a little bit. And to be honest, I'm not that sure why, unless he's just worried about the first knight that comes out, destroying a bunch of his forces. And French have a bit of a cheeky mind game they can play here, where they build a school of cavalry, and you know that they do. Hera looks like he did scout that, but even if he hadn't, you can kind of assume that's going to come out from the English player, from the French player, very probably. But still, that doesn't tell you whether they're going for scouts or knights, or apparently nothing at all. So looks like maybe only one scout coming out from the French player. And Hera should feel pretty confident in moving out here. And I think he just scouted this stone. So we see those 4 villagers on stone. That's a pretty clear tell that Mixu is going for that second town center. So we will see if he's able to get away from that. Hera will be getting into looking to punish this, I'm sure. We'll take a look at his economy to see if, one thing players can sometimes do is if they see an expansion going up, well, maybe they'll just do it themselves and try to do it better. Maybe they expand twice. Already off of stone here is Mixu, so looks like he used that stone to go for the arrow slits. You can see the actual windows. The window shape has changed on the tower. That's how you can tell. So he's gone for arrow slits here. Is this a fake out from... I feel like this might be a fake out. He has a ton of villagers on wood. Very interesting. Let's keep an eye on what Hera is up to here. He's obviously wants to cause some problems. We'll see if he gets any villager kills. Only 5 longbows there. The rest are spears. So there's only so much damage that can be done. That being said, he just idled this entire wood line. So Mixu now moving to the other wood line. I think that's maybe a bit early. You see he did go for professional scouts. 3 scouts doing that. So dropping off some deer carcasses. Looks like that's pretty well timed. His villagers will need some more meat very, very shortly. And his own archers are coming out now. There's 7 of them. So currently on track to... Well, here's another 5 longbows. I was about to say he's on track to hold off Hera's longbow push, but he will definitely need more bowmen than that, as longbows are... They will get that first shot off. And Hera has walled this up, put a gate here with a proxy blacksmith. Interesting. Probably just using the villager that he has to build. Hera sees the arrow slits here. Probably sees there's no one on stone. So I am wondering now if at this point Mixu had a plan to add that second town center and felt that he couldn't based on what Hera was doing, or if he just was faking him out. I kind of think he was faking him out just because there wasn't actually a lot of pressure here, and he even put up the tower. So on top of that, you kind of know the English player is going to go for longbows. So I don't really see why Mixu would have done that other than some kind of fake out. This many villagers on wood pretty much means archer production. Do we see... What else is he going for? His wood is definitely building up. Stone is still stuck at 139. Only 2 villagers on gold. I have to admit, I'm kind of worried for Mixu here. I don't understand his plan. I think this many archers isn't enough. 11, 12, 13 longbows for Hera in this spot. Forward outpost coming up, so they'll be better at shooting in this area. Looks like Mixu's going to pick off a longbow here, but he's not going to get through this anytime soon. Archers are virtually useless at getting through walls and gates. Looks like the ranged attack upgrade just came in from Hera. We'll take a look at Mixu, and I don't see any upgrades for him whatsoever. So not ideal for him. Hera's longbows did move forward, so he will get a couple of units picked off, but now has to worry about these scouts actually getting picked off. So in terms of, yeah, so 13 against So definitely 14 archers for Mixu is a little better, but just keep in mind that first shot, plus the 25% attack speed bonus provided by this network of castles here for the English, will really turn the tide in an even archer battle like that. More archers coming out from Mixu. Looks like he did get that first ranged attack upgrade in and is now getting the ranged defense as well. Let's go. All right, Hera's blacksmith is up front here. Looks like he's going for siege engineering. So Hera hoping to really put on the pressure here. Possibly push right into this. Oh, look at all the villagers on stone now. This is starting to look like he wants that second TC, and he wants it right now. So we'll see if he pulls them all off. There they go. Second town center goes up somewhere close. Oh, okay. So trying to put it somewhere a little safer. That is actually a nice tucked away spot. You'll notice you can't really get there with longbows. I don't think they could shoot over this range. So I like the placement. Got the stone he needed. Later than you would hope. It's already 11 minutes in, placing that town center. So, again, I'm a little worried for Mixu, and pretty darn soon. There it is. Siege engineering is now in, so I was going to say rams are going to come out, and we now see those from Hera. 23 longbows plus a ram. This is going to be pretty mean to deal with. 20 archers, on the other hand, for Mixu. So, as I mentioned at the start, this kind of game... notice just the houses. You know, when there's a spare villager, you might as well keep them busy, and you can see Hera doing that. Of course, developing that in Age of Empires 2. So, this kind of game, the factions are so standard, their options are so similar, really, that the advantage really goes to the player that just ekes out a few small advantages here and there. And so far, I mean, in a way, Mixu has succeeded in eking out a few small advantages by picking off a few longbowmen. He's got this new town center now, so economically he should be ahead pretty soon. But I feel like the timing has been off for him all along. Hera building another outpost up front to continue that network of castles forward. Rams taking out the outpost, is now taking out the mining camp as well. He'll probably move on to this archery range pretty soon. Going for the villagers now. These villagers are really exposed. Let's see how many go down. That's 2. So at this point, Hera with 43 villagers and Mixu with 48. So still has the advantage on that front, and we'll be hoping to stall here. Now, Mixu can retarget both the town center and the tower to focus on the longbows. So we'll be trying to do that. Kill as many of these longbows as he can. And it looks like, yeah, you don't want to overplay trying to kill this ram. And really what you want to do is reduce these longbow numbers. And you can do that by just continuing to retarget the tower. And he's done it again there. You can see it start to fire at the longbows once again. Let's keep an eye on these longbows of Hera. Stepping back for a little bit to heal. He's applying the pressure. He's happy with this situation, right? He doesn't need to go crazy all-in at this stage. And in fact, I wasn't watching his resources saved. He's at 1,200 food. So I wouldn't be surprised if he moves a few more villagers to gold. Maybe we'll try to keep an eye on that. One more coming out now, as TC's probably directing there, and it is. So he will be working toward getting to the Castle Age. So firm pressure up front. Click up to Castle Age behind. And if he can even keep it economically similar, by that time he hits Castle Age, Mixu will basically just have to resign. So Mixu coming out with as many villagers as he can. 48 economy now versus 49. So Hera is closing that gap. And all these villagers are idle, right? So Hera's economy is actually functioning at a higher level in the meantime. Another villager going down, another one. 2 more. Actually, 1 more. This one, lucky guy, managed to get away. I think this tower is not long for this world. Of course, Hera, remember, he doesn't need to take it out. The whole point of this, he's almost clicked up to Castle Age. He doesn't have to all-in this. He's just forcing reactions, forcing villager losses, and 45 villagers now against 50 for Hera. Also, keep in mind that Mixu's the French player. He makes villagers faster So you would hope that he's ahead, but he is actually behind despite being on 2 town centers. So Hera really playing this solidly, not doing anything too fancy. Adds 2 archery ranges up front, so definitely piling on the pressure and even closer to the castle age now. I don't know that Mixu will expect that. Let's see if he... So he's almost at the 600 gold he needs. If he had a market, he could maybe even just sell to make it happen. Yeah, look at this. Look at this massive longbows now. 33 with 2 rams against 24 archers. So really, really not looking good for Mixu. All right, the battle is on. If this doesn't go well for Mixu, this is pretty much the game. Looks like Hera is going to be targeting down as many villagers as he can. He knows he has the army mass here. Once the villagers are down, they can't take out the rams. The rams are then free to do whatever they want. Folks, Mixu taps out. Hera beats him on Mountain Pass. English versus French. This has been Paragon RG. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe for a daily video in your feed. That's all, and I'll catch you next time.